For the coming 1961 season, Suzuki signed Paddy Driver to join Mitsuo Ito and the other Japanese riders on the team. He traveled to Japan to participate in the development testing. Reaching beyond the Isle of Man TT, Suzuki decided to enter GP races around the world. Paddy Driver participated from the first race of the GP season, but the results were less than satisfactory. The Isle of Man TT was the fourth race on the schedule. Sadly, the Suzuki team's second outing there ended in a crushing defeat. The best results the team managed in the season were 14th place finishes in the 125cc class at the Dutch and Belgian GP races, and a 7th place finish in the 250cc class at the Belgian GP. Somewhat reluctantly, the team cancelled participation in the second half of the season and returned to Japan. Suzuki's second year challenging the International GP Series proved to be a severe test. In contrast, Yamaha made a great showing in their first entry in the GP Series. Honda, now in its third year, impressed all by taking both the Constructors' and Riders' titles in the 125cc and 250cc classes. In light of these results, there were those who once again raised the opinion that two-stroke engines were not well suited to GP racing and that Suzuki should change to four-strokes. However, Shunzo Suzuki did not waver in commanding the team to continue two-stroke engine R&D and to continue their challenge in the World GP Championship Series. He firmly believed that Suzuki must win races while staying true to their own path. About this time, the team gained another boost to its competitive strength. They hired Ernst Degner, a top rider from East Germany who consistently competed at the top of the pack on a two-stroke MZ. Degner was intrigued with the energy Suzuki members were devoting to developing winning machines. Degner defected late in the 1961 season, immediately following the Swedish GP. After signing a contract with Suzuki to ride in the 1962 season, he took an active role in development. Mopeds and scooters were the focus of development as economies began to recover after World War II. Responding to demand for convenient and affordable transportation, they quickly became popular around the world, and this led to the rise of the 50cc class in international racing. When the 50cc class was added to the 1962 GP World Championship Series, Suzuki and Honda were among the first makers to announce their intention to enter. Development began immediately of machines that could compete against Kreidler, the reigning 50cc champion on the European circuit. Suzuki now found itself preparing to challenge the 50cc, 125cc and 250cc classes in 1962. Suzuki's third year in the GP World Championship Series began with the season's first race. At the opening race in Spain, the team finished in 7th, 11th and 15th places in the 50cc class, but was forced to retire in both the 125cc and 250cc classes. Deciding to focus their race activities on the 50cc class, Suzuki cancelled its plans to enter the 250cc class for the rest of the season. At the second race, the French GP, arch-rival Kreidler did not yield an inch. Kreidler was clearly the dominant power in the 50cc class. Even so, Suzuki's dream was about to come true. Degner rode the Suzuki RM62 to consecutive wins at the next 4 races in the Isle of Man, the Netherlands, Belgium and West Germany. These victories were enough to win him the Riders' Championship title for 1962. A major factor in this victory was the superhuman effort of the Research 3 team back in Hamamatsu. Though their newly developed rotary valve had already boosted charging efficiency greatly by the beginning of the season, engine output remained less than satisfactory. The cause lay in the shape of the expansion chamber. The development team built dozens of prototype chambers as they worked to surmount this problem. While the race team spent sleepless nights in Europe troubleshooting problems on a daily basis, the team of engineers back in Japan continued working through the night to build the parts needed to be more competitive. Then, just before the TT was scheduled to begin, and after the team had fabricated over 100 prototype chambers, the test engine suddenly demonstrated a huge boost in power. This development left the members of Research 3 confident that a two-stroke engine could compete.
排気管っていうのは非常に大切な5ミリ縮めると500回転回転が変わっちゃうんですよ。
例えばテールパイプをこれの長さを例えば3ミリずつぐらい作ったとか、径を 0.5 飛びかなぐらいで作ったとかね、細かいそれのまた組み合わせですから、それで1000本ぐらいになるんですよ。夢中になって配管をめちゃくちゃたくさん作って馬力アップに貢献する。
This was encouraging, but the Isle of Man race was about to begin. There was no time to sit back and enjoy their achievement. They quickly packaged up the engine and chamber assembly, added a note instructing the race team to use it just as it was, and shipped it off by air freight. As soon as the shipment arrived on the Isle of Man, the parts were mounted on the racing machines. On the day of official qualifying, something happened that nobody could have expected. Degner posted the fastest qualifying time in the 50cc class. At that moment, the entire team was filled with a sense that their efforts were paying off. Raring to go when the time came for the 50cc final, Degner and the Suzuki RM62 maintained the same momentum as during qualifying. He not only beat the Kreidler and Honda machines, he also took the checkered flag 18 seconds ahead of the second-place bike. It was a victory both he and the Suzuki team had dreamed about. Degner's average time was 120.9 kilometers per hour, and he posted a remarkable top speed of 144.8 kilometers per hour. Mitsuo Ito finished in 5th place, Michio Ichino in 6th place, and newcomer Seiichi Suzuki took 8th place. Not only did all the Suzuki riders complete the race, they all earned silver replica trophies in the process. It was the first time a two-stroke machine had won on the Isle of Man since 1938.
コースが1周60キロ長いでしょ。だから途中でサルビストレートっていうところで電話連絡をするようになってるんですよね。それが本部の方へ入ってきて、それで今トップだよっていうのが入って、それであれです。
結果聞いた時はね、やっぱ私ら涙出ましたね。
小さなピストンでね。
日本製のバイクがすごいける。
The local media reported the results, saying history was made on Friday when the 50cc final race began. The victory stood in direct opposition to the specialists' predictions that a four-stroke machine would win. It left the critics silent. True to the words of the hotel owner, Suzuki had triumphed in their 3rd year of challenging the GP World Championship. Suzuki and Degner continued to win, and in the first season the 50cc class became part of the World Championship Series, they took both the Constructors' and Riders' titles.
Japan でね、
世界選手権の 50cc っていうのができた初めての年なんですよ。それだから値打ちがあるんですね。初代チャンピオンだからね。
In contrast, the team's best result in the 125cc class was a 4th place finish at the Dutch TT. After missing about half the races in the season, the best result in the 250cc class was a 5th place finish at the Dutch TT. Reflecting on these results, the development team wasted no time in getting down to work on new machines for the next season.
イギリスのバンを小さいバンをね 小さいっても2台積んでそれを5台用意してそれを連ねてこう走って遠征してたんだけど、それがものすごく宣伝になったんだね、あれね。スズキジャパンって書いたバンでね5台連なってあちこち走るわけですよ、田舎道からないからね。随分宣伝になりましたよね、あれも。